What's going on, people? I'm still trying to learn the words, the hardest words. What I'm doing, I'm getting all the hardest words down in this book here, and I'm gonna say all praises to the Most High for that, brother Rudolph Winsall. I don't really know where he at now, but hopefully that brother is all right. Everything is he's doing good, and this is him right here. He the one that wrote this book. You know, I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate it's a thousands of people, thousands of millions, probably it's a lot of people love the brother, and we definitely appreciate him. He wrote many of. This is the only first one that I actually into. That I have by the grace of the Most High God, a Jamaican brother had allowed me. He got it for me. And I used to hear people talk about it a lot when they was. Let's see here. I don't like to pick it up except I like to read stuff in here. He go into a lot of history, and he breaks down a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he talks a lot about black civilization in Africa. Yeah, he talks about before we embark on our barge into African civilization. I think it would be interesting to the readers and students of African history to know how the content of Africa received its name. You know, First of all, in ancient periods, the black Hebrews referred to Egypt, the guardian of the northeastern Ham. The Hebrew ethologists used the epon, eponymous name Ham. The Hebrew, Ham, because they were conscious of the fact that many of Ham's descendants traveled from Asia toward the south and all that, and the inhabitation of the continent we know of today as Africa. It seemed that there were no Semites or Indo-Europeans in the land of Ham, Africa, before the enslavement of the Hebrews and the Hyksos invasion. Ancient Palestine was part of the land of Ham before the Hebrews came and expelled the Hamites, Canaanites. It appears that the early anthropologists and ethologists classified race on the basis of a cultural development and not on the basis of kinship. But the Hebrews are an exception. Okay. The early Greeks distinguishes between the Hellenes and barbarians because they wanted their own people to appear superior. Some of them claim that they originated everything. The advanced Romans is felt culturally superior to the northern barbarian tribes, and they enslaved many of these barbarians. The Egyptians subjected and sold other Africans tribes that were inferior to them and cultural, and they conceived of themselves as racially and culturally superior to others underdeveloped people. Okay, when they say they sold, when you hear that word, they sold other African tribes. This was talking about. It goes into a long history of. It talks about. Let's see here. Let's find that page to just the answer, page 53. Let's go there. When it talks about other Africans sold other Africans, I want to clear that part up. By the way, Esau is the devil. Okay, all this is hold on. We'll get off into that. I want to make sure I read that page where it talks about other Africans sold how they ran. Okay, that's the part I want to read. I know that page by heart. I'm just still flipping until I can get to that page. This is a lot of pages in this, because he got a lot of history in here. So I'm flipping and flipping. Let's see here. I think I went over too far. Hold on. It and read it. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. On page 84 of Babylon Temple of 2, page 84. This camera here don't show up good. I hate it don't show up. It show up better when I do it on the iPad or the phone. This I'm doing it from the desk. I mean, not desk, but laptop. All right. It says right here, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies and under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. Now, when I say captured Jerusalem, what's up, man? How you doing? Captured Jerusalem. Okay. In 70 A.D., General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrage and anarchies were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 100,000 Jews fled into Africa. They fled to Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. I don't know why they be talking about Jewish. Now that's the part that I want to go to, where it talked about they sold other Africans, and not like a lot of people were saying blacks sold their own people and stuff like that. And it's all because of the Africans, the Hamites. They look similar. If you look at an African and if you look at a Hamite, they both look almost the same, really. They got some of them broad nose and the thick lips and stuff like that. You know, some of them look similar, you know what I'm saying? But they not the same people, and I think that's what people get. You know, most people coming to realize that, you know what I'm saying? Because when I used to hear that, people would say, oh, blacks sold their own people and stuff, trying to throw people off. That, you know what I'm saying? They want to compare you to something like that because they figure that you look alike. Though, so that just because you look alike, that doesn't make you the same people. And that's what throwing a lot of people off in the world. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have a lot of us, a lot of people, like a lot of us, and people may look at us and say, oh, they got Esau futures, man. Look at them. They look at them. You know, some of them have some African Americans have blonde hair and stuff like that, just like the Apostle Paul. People will mistake you. They when they looked at the Apostle Paul, a lot of people mistake the Apostle Paul for an Egyptian because he looked at exactly just like the Hamites. You know, remember when Joseph, when they went down into Egypt, Joseph was after he had went into he served 2 years in the prison. You remember the history of how Pontius Pilate's wife accused him of trying to lay with her, rape her, and all that type of stuff. That he ended up getting like 2 years in the prison and things of that nature. And then after Joseph came out of prison, then that God set him up over the governor, and the slave owner of the house set Joseph over everything. And then his brothers didn't remember who he was, but he knew who his brothers was, because they came down into Egypt to get the corn and stuff like that. Joseph recognized his brothers, but they didn't recognize who he was because he was dark just like the Egyptians. You see what I'm saying? And so they came, and so that's a perfect example right there to show you that how that's why they always say, and that's weird in a way, because I guess it might be weird that I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying? It might be weird that I'm kind of like trying to explain it, because a lot of us, I ain't gonna lie, I do it sometimes too, and that's why I'm like, well, help me is not to judge people. That's why you see so many scriptures in the Bible. It tells you judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteously and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Because you can it's easily to mistake Israelite for Hamite or Esau or whatever, until you, like they say, until you ask a person their nationality or something like that. I'm gonna put that up there. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, a lot of the Jews, they was running from the Greeks because it was persecution going on. And you know what I'm saying? Now, you got this guy on YouTube, or you got this person out there that's criticizing Brother Rudolph Winsall. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of Edomites is jealous of Mr. Rudolph Winsall. They really are. You know what I'm saying? Especially a so-called black man anyway, for trying to reveal this truth to us. And I just want to say, I thank that brother, you know what I'm saying, for his work and what he has done. I don't even have enough words to even express how thankful and excited that I am, how the Holy Spirit, the Most High, the Spirit, God put it up on the spirit of that brother, is to be able to write. He got a lot of books I don't know nothing about. You see what I'm saying? He got one called the Valley. I think it's called the Valley of the Dry Bones and stuff like that. And I would like to, hopefully, I'll be able to look into some of them. You know what I'm saying? Some more. If I have some, I'm definitely going to look into them. Oh, most definitely. His work is not in vain. And we thank God that we have the so-called black men that is actually pushing this truth out there, And I don't have enough words to really give thanks and honor and to our brothers for putting this information out there and writing this book. This brother wrote it. He went into a lot of history. He did a perfect, excellent job explaining different things, And another part that's my favorite, I want to show it to you. I think it's on page 126. Yeah, it's on page 126, which I have it down packed. I like that part. 126. Hold on, let me just, it'll take me a minute to get there. Not too long. Page 120, 126. This is one of my favorite ones too. I'm going to have to read off and start off and get a context. All right, here we go. This is on page Babylon Temple of Two, page 126. Let's see here. It says, by the the index of King Manoa, Portugal, in 1496 banished the Jews from Portugal. All Jews were to be out of Portugal by August the 1497. However, considering this matter, he decided to Christianize the Jews, fearing the loss of a valuable population. He wanted the continual use of their knowledge and services. He concluded that the only way the Jews could be tolerated in his country was to force them, now look at that, to force them into the Christian faith. In March 1497, a command was proclaimed throughout Portugal for all Hebrew children between 4 and 14 years of age to be brought for baptism. You see what I'm saying? This is when they was getting ready to force. Okay, now this, all parents who did not bring their children voluntarily had their children taken away voluntarily by the official and forced them into baptism. Self-Ruth writes, since the scenes of indescribable horror were witnessed as they were torn away by the royal buffaloes, the latter did not obey their instructions too closely, frequently seized young people of both sexes up to the age of 20. In many cases, parents smothered their offspring in their farewell embrace. In others, they threw them into the walls in order to save them and from the disgrace of apostasy, and then killed themselves. Dang. And sometimes even old men were dragged. Now, they didn't have no respect for our elders, bro. Now, look, this just goes to show you that Christianity is demonic, bro. And this is what they pushed on our people. They beat our nationality out of us. They beat and put white Jesus into our people. And others, they threw into the walls in order to save them from the disgrace of apostasy. Boy, I tell you, this was bad. And killed themselves. Sometimes even of old men were dragged to the churches and forcibly baptized by overzealous fanatics. That was plumb demonic and evil. Herodias' condition, like these and much worse, compelled many Jews to escape secretly out of the country. These black Jews went to Portuguese colonial possessions in the Western Africa. Remember that the Portuguese colonies in Western Africa were Ghana, San Thomas Island, Senegal, Angola, and a few islands near the African coast. During the persecution of Portugal, thousands of Jews left the country, and the Jews were leaving the country in such a large number. In 1499 and 1531, the king published a decree forbidding the new Christian black Jews from leaving Portugal without special permits. Okay, all right. Hopefully I said that right. Now watch this. At this time, many Jews became Christians out of fear. Now that's my next favorite part too, because it opens up and it uncovers all of the lies and stuff, man. It's like it's like Esau is being exposed. That's why I say Esau is the devil. Now watch this here. At this time, many Jews became Christians out of fear. Many of them were known as secret Jews. Now, why did they have to do this in secret? They had to, what's the word I'm using? They had to go and hide. They had to hide in disguise. You know what I mean? At this time, many Jews became Christians out of fear. Many of them were known as secret Jews, practicing Judaism in secret under the disguise of Christianity. Some writers call these Jews non-normal Christian Jews who were Christians in name only. That's why I say our people is only, they call themselves African American, French Creole, Puerto Rican, and all these different names. Our people are a false nationality in name only. All of that is under this is a connection tied to Christianity. The Jews, the normal Christian Jews, who are Christians in name only, but practice Judaism in secret. In spite of all the prejudice against the black Jews of Portugal, they exceeded all the trades and skills, professionals, and businesses. The wealth of the Jews was tremendous. Portugal is a small country about the size of the state of Florida. Nevertheless, in the year 1610, the Jews were worth 80 million decades. The Jews dominated commercials and the experts trades. So naturally, the black Jews would engage in commercial and trade in many parts of Africa after they had fled from Portugal. They had to flee from Portugal because that's why the Jews, the Israelites in Portugal, they was calling themselves black Portuguese. You see what I'm saying? But they was not Portuguese in nationality. They was only Portuguese in name, because it was colonized. And every place that's colonized, and you have a lot of people that's scattered all over the world, they call themselves after the name of those countries that was colonized by those people that who is not the original people of those lands, which were slave owners, like the Europeans, the Africans, and all those people. The people over in Africa now, those are not like in Europe and in Spain and Portugal and all, those are not the original Germans and all of that. You know what I'm saying? The original Germans and Jews and all of those people, the original black people, Jews were Europeans. The original Europeans and all those people were black. You see what I'm saying? On this next page here, excuse me, I see some of these words became easy since I didn't practice a lot of them. Some of them I can say and some of them I can't. I'm still working on a lot of them. But right here it says the black Jews of Angola. I'm gonna have to look up them words Angola too, because a lot of those words are still new to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like reading the Bible. It's history of the Bible. But I think these are words like from different other countries, and we're not used to seeing these words. Now, at one time, I used to couldn't read, right? I used to have my family members just to help me read. I mean, you know, put stuff on tape way before they had internet, way before YouTube, way before any of this stuff. I was working on my reading. When I started out working on my reading when I was about 22. Matter of fact, when I was in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I joined the movement in 92. Before I came into the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I was going with my family members and things like family, you know, the older adults and stuff, like my mother. She carried me, my brothers and sisters to church and stuff like that. And she was a part of this church called Eastside Pentecostal Church of God in Christ. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And which is a denomination. So I didn't know anything about why I was going. I did not know that. All I knew that there was a God. That's it. And he wanted us to honor him and pray to him and worship him. But I didn't understand and didn't know who this God was. I didn't know nothing about him being the God of Abraham. All this stuff, I didn't know none of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about not eating right, eating properly. God wants us to worship him a certain way. I didn't know none of it. I thought we just supposed to just honor and worship God. And I didn't understand why we was going to church on Sunday. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I was just totally what's that word? Oblivious? Am I using the right word? Is that the right word to be using for stuff like this? I hope I'm here. Yeah. And finally, when I turned 17, I used to work at this place called Al's Drive-In, and I was eating everything under the sun. I was eating crawfish, shrimp, all that type of stuff. And I got something I want to talk and get a little bit more in deep. Somebody said something negative about that today. But this is not to criticize them. This is just to help them to understand. I used to work at this place called Al's Drive-In, and I was like I was eating shrimp. I was eating like I said, I was eating everything under the sun: pork, shrimp, lobster, crab, all that stuff, because I was cooking all that type of stuff. And so I came into the faith under an elderly lady who actually introduced me to Seventh Day Adventism, and I thought it was all the truth. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. I'm still thinking, okay, I done found the whole truth. And I was very devout in the faith. I would leave, I would walk to church every week. I was very excited to get up and go to the service every morning. I was very dedicated into what I was doing. You know what I mean? I went. I had a great zeal for it. I was very passionate for it. And I learned a lot about the Adventist faith. I learned a lot of the history of it. You see what I'm saying? Since I had been in there all them years. I never heard, I still never even heard of the Nation of Islam, which I'm starting to study that, and I'm starting to understand too. It's waking me up a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? I never been to, it's a lot of denominational churches that I never been in. But Seventh-day Adventist denomination was one of the main ones I was devout in it. And so I was bringing food I bought some food one time to a little woman and family and things of that nature. And so she was like, we don't eat this. We don't eat, because I used to when I was bring food home from like work, I would they call them chef salads and stuff like that. And I would like get salads and hamburgers and stuff like that. And I would put ham and beef in the salad. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And they said, well, we don't eat that. I'm like, oh, okay, because it was new to me. I didn't know. And said, all that stuff got pork in it. I said, what pork? I said, y'all don't eat pork? And I was like, why you don't eat pork? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. And I was like, to make the long story short, I was like, well, just tell me more about it then. And this was when they was in the Adventist church. You see what I'm saying? I think was still working at, I was working at Golden Corral too. I was working at Al's Drive-In, and I was working at Golden Corral at that time. I had just freshly got hired at Golden Corral. I was a dishwasher there, And that was way back in the day, man. That was that was some decades ago, I'm still a baby then, I was 17, and I came into the church, and I remember her nephew was saying these words to me. He said, you ain't supposed to be working on the Sabbath, huh? And it didn't offend me, because let me tell you one about me. I always wanted to know what was right, even though I did not know what was right. But I know I'm supposed to be edifying y'all, with the word and stuff. But all praises to the Most High. He came, he woke me up, and I came up out of it. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want me to go into more details of it, read some stuff on it, and show y'all a lot of the things that I followed or whatever. I don't know. Some people may be saying that's not edifying. It wouldn't make no sense to go through all that. You know what I'm saying? We doing good. You in the truth. Speak on the truth. You're not here to do that. Because I think one brother was telling me, was saying, he made a video about a week ago. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me, say, hey, man, you're not edifying the people, man. With what you're saying or whatever. So I'm giving it some. I'm just saying, if y'all want some more information on whatever, I'll do that. But anyway, I'm gonna kind of cut it up. Let's see here. What this is: the Black Jews of Angola in the country called Angola. I think that's a part of a town. That's where a lot of the you still got some Israelites over in that region over there too. I think in the country called the Gabon near the Congo, there were black Jews known as the Bambuba. Some writers call them by various names such as Mavanbu, Mayabu, Mayaba, and these are some Yubu, Mev, Yambu, Alba, pro writer, a French writer, says that these Jews held the coast of Longo between the Congo and river and Rhino Mumai in Gabon in 1776. Their country began about 60 miles from the coast and extended north from the Congo about 200 miles. In appearance, these black Jews are hardly distinguishable from the other Africans. It has been reported that the Jews practiced some divination and magic like native Africans. However, they observed some Jewish ceremonies and lived in separate communities. So you have a lot of our people living in these separate communities as well too. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take time and come back. It's a lot of the stuff in here that I can say, but I'm seeking to like understand a lot of these words that down, like Christianizing, Razor, observing a ceremony of baptism by following by circumstances. However, these tribes were Jewish in origin. The Christianity Razor saw amongst them were a disguise of circumstances. Practicing amongst them is of Jewish derivation. The Christians in Portugal did not practice circumcision. In fact, Selroth wrote that circumcision amongst Jews in Portugal were practically an impossibility, for its discovery was equal to a death sentence. Gabbai wrote concerning the Marvanbu Jew on the Longo coast. That was names that they used. They was calling these different tribes. They didn't call them by their biblical name. These were names that was put on these people here because of the colonization, because those people, those fake Jews or those fake the Germans or whoever came over and took over these lands and they colonized them. And they forced another language on these people. They forced them is to accept their customs. They forced them is to accept the gods other than the Hebrew God. And a lot, that's why a lot of our people, when they see a picture like us, I wish that, hold on, let me see if I can show one up in here. Hold on, let me show you something. Whoops. When the majority of the world look at this picture here, right here, that's a picture of a fake the white Jesus. You see what I'm saying? And that's the picture that the majority of the people, when they look at as Jesus, the majority of the world people, universal points to this here. You see what I'm saying? Because those things was beat in our people through slavery. That's why it's so hard for our people is to let a lot of this stuff go. And a lot of our people, sad to say, a lot of them is not going to let go of this white Jesus. When you start, mainly, here's a problem with our, and this is not me putting you down, so I'm not doing that. I'm just saying how you've been lied to. That's all I'm saying. Come out from amongst them, separate yourself from Christianity and Esau, and come back to your God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is your real God, your real nationality. If you tell them that Esau is the devil and Esau is the enemy, a lot of our people, they'll look at you like, because I notice a lot of people, when I say stuff about Esau or whatever, they look at you like, they look at you weird. Like, and then they won't say that. That's how you know they don't really like what you're saying, because they're willing to stand up and die and defend their slave master. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the modern day house Negroes. I mean, the ancient house Negroes versus the modern day house Negroes. It ain't really no difference. It's still the same. It's really no difference. You see what I'm saying? You say something about their slave master, they ready to kill you. Say something about Esau now. Say something about the Caucasian man, and see what's gonna happen to you. See the results you're gonna get from it. Either what they're gonna do, they're gonna look at you, or either they just ain't gonna, they're gonna get shamed because they ain't gonna want. See, our women, if you call out the Caucasian people and they passing by, they're not gonna stop and acknowledge the so-called black man for pointing out the flaws of Esau. Because they're ashamed, because they're afraid they're gonna lose what the so-called white man is giving them. They're afraid of that. That, ooh, I'm getting all these benefits. I'm gonna keep walking. I don't even want to be no parts in that. You see what I'm saying? But that's what they're doing. They selling their soul out for just a little nothing. If you look at the Garden of Eden, in Eden, who did the devil come to when it came to the doctrine? Who did he come to? He came to Adam, right? I mean, excuse me, he came to Eve. My bad. He came to Eve. Didn't he go to Eve? He didn't go nowhere near to Adam. Ask yourself this question. Why did that nation of people didn't go to Adam about the forbidden doctrine? And it wasn't no fruit. It was all about doctrine. Why did the devil didn't that nation of people? Because the Most High God is dealing with nations. If you read that in the context, it's talking about nations. God was warning Israel, don't partake of these people, they cultures and their gods. Stick with your own culture and your own God and stuff. What did the enemy do? They went straight to the woman, right? Have you noticed that when you see the brothers out on the streets, right? What do you see? Esau, if he come up and see, because you know the so-called black woman, they gonna defend the Caucasian man. And Esau will walk up and see that. And they know what's going on. They know that our people is destroyed. They know that they are mentally destroyed through slavery. And so Esau, like, oh, I like that. So they walk up there and they're, in essence, team up with that so-called black woman and help them ridicule the brothers that's trying to open up their eyes. You see what I'm saying? They'll get mad. It's all on YouTube. They get mad. You got some of the sisters that walk up there and cuss the brothers out for speaking about Esau like that. Yeah, absolutely. They'll defend him with every bone in their body. They slave master. Yeah. Because see, the reason they don't come to the man, because they know that the so-called black man, a Hispanic and Native American man, they can't pull the bullshit out. They can't pull the wool and spew that bullshit on a so-called black man, a so-called Hispanic and Native American man. They know they can't do that. That's why you think the government is saying they would help the woman only if she got to not have a man in the house. See, they aim. See what people have to understand. The devil been attacking the family ever since the Garden of Eden. Have y'all noticed that? The enemy been always have attacked the family. What did he do to Eve and Adam? They was divided, right? The forbidden fruit. That was one attack on the family because Adam started blaming Eve and Eve blamed God for creating. He said, Lord, it's the man, it's the serpent that, like that. You know how they went to blaming each other for each other's problems? Matter of fact, let's get it. The devil, that's the first one he attacked, the black family. And that's what we have to understand. And Esau going to do everything he can is to attack the black families. Let's look at that. Genesis chapter 3. and verse 5. Let's start at verse 5. It said, for God, let's read verse 1. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more substance than any beast of the field, which the Lord God has made. And he said unto the woman, yea, had God said, ye should not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye should not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. The serpent said unto the woman, you will not, you ain't gonna die. That's Esau. That's the spirit of Esau. For what does the Bible say in Acts 5:29? We ought to obey God rather than man. It says, for God don't know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. See that? The devil acknowledged that. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. That means they started waking up and realized that they've been bamboozled. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And naked means that they was in sin. Because if you go in Revelation, it said, blessed is he that walk naked and see his shame. Well, let me go on. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons, or covering. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. When you do wrong, you're gonna be when I done something wrong, you're gonna know it, because you're gonna have a sense of fear upon you, which I experience a lot. Like if you overdo something, yeah. Now and he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said unto the woman, and the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. So the woman went to saying, no, Adam went to blaming it on the woman. What that sound like today? It's the black man, the so-called man is always saying, it's the woman's fault. It's the woman's fault. It was the woman's fault. It's the woman's fault. And watch this here. And the Lord said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. That means Esau told me it was okay. Esau said, the Caucasian man, he told me it was okay to do this. Eve put the blame on the other people, right? When the Most High said, okay, he put the blame. He said, Lord, it's they did not take the although the enemy did put it in place. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I say the enemy is. We can turn around, but put the blame on the people that actually cause these problems. But in this case right here, it's saying that Adam didn't take responsibility. That's basically what it's saying. Eve ain't took no responsibility for their actions or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they're saying they went to blaming everybody else for what they problems or whatever, and so on and so forth or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And see, what they do is they go and they get caught up into this Esau system. You see what I'm saying? And then now they crying out to the Most High, Lord, deliver us from the enemy, blah blah blah. This, they don't listen to you. But some of them, when they do wake up, some of them it's going to be too late, and then sometimes God is just going to be a little bit merciful with them and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? But this just goes to show you, in this case, Adam put the blame on Eve. He said, Lord, it's the woman that you gave to be with me. Eve said, Lord, it's the serpent. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's the serpent you made that made me do this. Instead of taking accountability, they want to say all men are no good and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So this is what this is actually kind of going into at the same time too. But at the same time, our people was conditioned because of slavery too, is to think that way. But at the same time, you see where they get this from, where, oh Lord, the man ain't no this and that, ain't no good, and there ain't no good men out here, and that there ain't no good man out here, and the man, you know what I'm saying? It's all because they have been conditioned through slavery is to handle each other this way. You see what I'm saying? We have been conditioned is to do all this stuff, anything that you can think of, it all stemmed from slavery. You see what I'm saying? It all stemmed from slavery. You know? So we can kind of see the reason why we have some of the problems that we're dealing with today. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna hold it out too long. I'm gonna come back and we'll talk some more. But hopefully I didn't get off the topic too much. But I actually spoke longer than I thought I was. But that's all right though. That's okay. So I'm gonna get up out of here and I'm gonna see y'all later. Esau, the devil. So the devil been attacking the family ever since. Yes. The devil been attacking the family ever since. And we know that the devil is Esau, the people that control the world. I'm out.